Hi, and welcome to the New Era Cafe. I'm Peggy Sue Skipper, and I am a card-carrying library member. I love books, so I'm always delighted when an author stops by the cafe to chat. And today, Marla Majewski has stopped by. Welcome, Marla.
Hi.
And your book is called The Girl I Used to Know?
Yes.
Awesome. I love the name because it conjures up all kinds of ideas about what it's about. But what is this book about?
This book is about how to put personal priority back on your to-do list.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, it's written for women in their 30s and 40s that have just kind of lost their identity in the midst of raising children and being married and caring for ailing parents. And it's been written to help women find themselves again and put their personal goals and dreams back on their list.
Sort of re-tapping into their inner child type of thing.
Yeah, it's
I
getting
love that concept.
Getting back to either the person they used to be as a small child when they thought anything was possible, or when they were at the top of their game, when they thought they were at their biggest level of confidence, that they had their biggest level of ambition, and try to just rekindle that spark.
Yeah, I love that because kids are very imaginative. They don't, their world just revolves around them. So anything's a go, right?
Exactly.
So that's really about tapping back into that energy.
Exactly.
And why did you write this book? Was this from personal need? Did you need to tap back into that girl you used to know?
Partly, yeah, definitely. I have 3 children, and I just found that with each child, I was losing myself. And it became all about the roles that I played and not really the person that I truly was. And so I started research on what motivates women, what keeps them inspired. And from that, talking to other women, I started doing life coaching sessions based on some of the research findings, and the content became a book.
I love that. So it was research combined with personal experience.
Exactly.
And how wonderful that you realized I must not be the only person that feels this way, right?
Right.
And so there are actually millions of women that feel that way, because let's face it, when we get married, we change.
We do.
When we have kids, we change again.
We do.
And with each child, we change again because we get more responsibility. And I guess this is what it's really about is, yes, you have the responsibilities, but don't forget that you're a human being too, right?
Right, exactly. I think a lot of times we sort of feel like the sacrificial lamb.
Sometimes we are.
Yes, sometimes we are. And we basically don't feel like we're as important as the other people in our life. And so this book is just to remind us that we do have needs, and we do deserve to be happy and have our own things that we do for ourselves, and they're just as important as the other things that we do in our life.
Right. And I love that because really I've always believed that as parents, one of the best things we can do for our children is be a good example of a person who's living at their best and brightest.
Exactly.
I mean, there's nothing better that we can give our children, right?
Right. Being a role model that says it's okay to be a mom and a wife and a daughter, and also have things that are personal and they're just as equal. It just basically shows to children that you will always be important to yourself, and they should always be important to themselves.
So what was it you found about yourself that you had to get back to? Was there something that you personally had to pull out from your inner child that you had kind of let go of?
Definitely. When I think of as a child, I remember being completely creative and always optimistic, always motivated. And along the way, because your life's not perfect, you lose that a little bit. And then in college, and when I was in my early 20s, I really felt truly ambitious and like I had total clarity of what I wanted my life to be like. But somehow it gets diluted when you have a family and you get married, and
not that that's not all good.
Oh yeah,
It's
and partly my book is how to have that with your husband and children included. It's not like you just throw that all away. The reality is we're all juggling so many obligations, and it's about fitting that personal stuff into your busy lifestyle, not just giving up on all the stuff. It's actually learning to live with both.
Okay. Were there any surprises for you in the research that you did? Anything that you were particularly sort of surprised to find out?
One thing is that only 7% of women that I interviewed saw that they were living to their full potential.
7%?
7%. And so there's a huge, huge amount of women out there that really are compromising. They're just, they're being okay with their life being mediocre or not as good as they thought it would be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And in some ways, I guess we do have to turn loose of some dreams to build others.
Right.
But I think that I love this concept, Marla, because I think there is in the core of all of us something that is precious that we must cling to no matter what.
Right.
And I think that's what we're talking about here, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And so you also are the founder of a company, right?
Yes.
Called Inspire Empire, and I love that name. And what is that?
It's basically an organization that brings a community of thriving women together, and it builds Inspire Circles, which are support groups for women that are all trying to put personal priority back on their to-do list. It's also life coaching services and workshops, and just basically giving women the tools to try to put some of their own essence of themselves back in their life.
Mm-hmm. Which just being part of a group like that would be a big first step.
It is.
Because that is something just for that woman.
It is,
that
yes.
group of women that she meets with to commiserate or sort of support each other.
Right, and a lot of times it's knowing that you're not the only one going through it and that it's a very normal process of life.
Well, I love the concept. I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay. And thank you for eavesdropping in today at the New Era Cafe. I'm Peggy Sue Skipper, and we'll see you next time. Thanks to our sponsor, the New Era Times. Check them out at tnettimes.org.